Most people say they want to change their lives. They want more discipline, more confidence, more success, more clarity. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Wanting a better life and building a better life are two completely different things. Personal development is not something that happens by accident. It's not a phase. It's not a burst of motivation after watching one inspiring video. It's a conscious decision to design who you are becoming. Personal development is the process of intentionally improving your mindset, your habits, your skills, and your emotional intelligence. It's about upgrading yourself in a structured way. And most importantly, it's not about competing with anyone else. It's about becoming better than the person you were yesterday. If you measure yourself against others, you'll either become insecure or arrogant. But if you measure yourself against your past self, you create real growth. The first step in personal development is self-awareness. You cannot improve what you refuse to examine. Most people live on autopilot. They repeat the same habits, the same emotional reactions, the same excuses, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Self-awareness means stepping back and observing yourself honestly. What are your strengths? Where do you naturally perform well? What are your weaknesses? Where do you consistently fall short? But it goes deeper than that. What triggers you emotionally? What situations cause stress, anger, procrastination, or self-doubt? And what beliefs are silently controlling your decisions? Maybe you believe you're not disciplined. Maybe you think you're bad with money. Maybe you assume you're not confident. These beliefs shape your actions more than you realize. A simple but powerful tool to develop self-awareness is journaling. Every day, take 5 to 10 minutes to write down what you did, how you felt, what went well, and what didn't. Over time, patterns will appear. You'll start noticing repeated mistakes, repeated emotional reactions, and repeated excuses. And once you can see the pattern, you can change it. After self-awareness comes vision. If you don't know where you're going, you'll accept any direction. Most people don't lack potential. They lack clarity. Ask yourself this: who do I want to become in the next 3 to 5 years? Not just what do I want to have, but who do I want to be? What kind of character traits do you want? Discipline, calmness under pressure, confidence, leadership? What kind of lifestyle do you want? What kind of income? What kind of relationships? What kind of daily routine? Be specific. Vague goals create vague results. Take time to write a clear personal vision statement. Imagine your ideal future self in detail. How does this person wake up in the morning? How do they handle stress? How do they speak? How do they treat their body? What standards do they live by? The more detailed your vision, the easier it becomes to align your daily actions with it. Once you have a vision, you need goals. A vision without goals is just imagination. Goals translate your future identity into actionable steps. Break your long-term vision into measurable short-term targets. If your vision includes being physically strong, set a weekly workout goal. If your vision includes financial independence, set a monthly savings target. If your vision includes becoming knowledgeable, commit to reading a certain number of books per year. But here's the key: focus on systems, not just outcomes. Outcomes are results. Systems are the daily actions that create those results. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Instead of obsessing over losing 20 pounds, focus on exercising 4 times per week. Instead of obsessing over earning more money, focus on improving a valuable skill every day. When the system is solid, the outcome follows. Where habits come into play. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They shape your future whether you're aware of it or not. That's why building a few powerful keystone habits can change everything. Start with a simple morning routine. The first 30 to 60 minutes of your day set the tone for everything that follows. Avoid immediately grabbing your phone. Instead, spend that time intentionally. Move your body, even if it's just a short stretch or a quick walk. Review your goals. Plan your day. When you win the morning, you increase your chances of winning the day. Another powerful habit is daily reading. 10 to 20 minutes per day may not sound like much, but over a year it compounds massively. Reading exposes you to new perspectives, new strategies, and new ideas. It sharpens your thinking and strengthens your focus. Most people scroll for hours, but claim they don't have time to read. The difference is not time, it's priority. Exercise is another non-negotiable habit. Your physical state affects your mental state. When you train your body, you build discipline, resilience, and confidence. You prove to yourself that you can do hard things, and that belief transfers into every other area of your life. But habits don't stick without tracking. What gets measured gets improved. Track your habits daily. Use a notebook, an app, or a simple checklist. When you visually see your progress, you reinforce consistency, and consistency is more powerful than intensity. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. Beyond habits, your environment plays a massive role in your development. Many people rely on motivation, but environment often matters more than motivation. If your room is messy, your mind feels cluttered. If your phone constantly distracts you, your focus weakens. If the people around you complain all the time, negativity becomes normal. Upgrade your environment intentionally. Remove distractions. Clean your workspace. Put your phone away when working. Create a space that supports productivity instead of sabotaging it. Your environment should make good behavior easier and bad behavior harder. This also applies to your social circle. You don't need to cut everyone off, but you should be aware of influence. Spend more time with people who are growth-oriented, disciplined, and ambitious. Energy is contagious. Standards are contagious. If you surround yourself with people who constantly strive for improvement, you will naturally elevate your own standards. And don't forget your digital environment. The content you consume shapes your thinking. If you constantly consume negativity, drama, and distraction, your mindset will reflect that. Curate your inputs. Follow creators who educate and inspire. Listen to podcasts that expand your perspective. Replace mindless scrolling with intentional learning. All of this may sound simple, and it is simple, but simple does not mean easy. Personal development is not about doing something extraordinary once. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily consistently. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, days when progress feels slow, days when you question whether it's worth it. That's normal. Growth is not linear. But if you stay committed to self-awareness, maintain a clear vision, build strong systems, and shape your environment intentionally, you will evolve. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. In fact, trying to change everything at once usually leads to burnout. Start small, pick one habit, clarify one goal, clean one area of your environment, build momentum step by step. Personal development is a lifelong journey. There is no final destination where you arrive. There is only continuous improvement, and the greatest return on investment you will ever get is the person you become in the process. So ask yourself today, who am I becoming through my daily actions? And if the answer doesn't match your vision, adjust your system, because your future is not built by what you intend to do. It's built by what you consistently do. At some point in your personal development journey, you'll realize something important. Growth is not just about adding new habits. It's about mastering yourself, and that starts with emotional control. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they can't manage their emotions. They react instead of respond. They quit when things feel uncomfortable. They say things they regret. They let stress dictate their decisions. If you want to grow, you must learn to create space between stimulus and response. When something frustrating happens, your first reaction is emotional. That's normal. But maturity is the ability to pause, to breathe, to think. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means understanding them without letting them control you. Start observing your emotional patterns. When do you procrastinate? When do you get defensive? When do you feel insecure? Instead of judging yourself, analyze yourself. Awareness turns chaos into clarity. One of the most powerful skills you can build is delayed gratification. The ability to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain separates average from exceptional. Every time you choose to work out instead of skipping, to save instead of spending, to focus instead of scrolling, you strengthen this muscle. Meditation and mindfulness can dramatically improve emotional regulation. You don't need an hour a day. Even 5 to 10 minutes of sitting in silence, focusing on your breath, trains your attention. It teaches you that thoughts come and go, urges come and go, emotions come and go, and you don't have to act on every single one of them. As you gain emotional control, your communication improves naturally. And communication is one of the most underrated self-development skills. Your ability to express ideas clearly, listen actively, and influence others determines the quality of your relationships and opportunities. Start by learning to speak with clarity. Avoid filler words. Slow down your speech. Think before you talk. Confidence in communication is not about being loud, it's about being precise. Practice active listening. Most people listen to reply, not to understand. When someone speaks, give them your full attention. Don't interrupt. Don't mentally prepare your counter-argument. Truly understand their perspective. This builds trust and respect instantly. Body language matters more than you think. Your posture, eye contact, and tone of voice communicate before your words do. Stand upright. Maintain calm eye contact. Speak with intention. These small adjustments signal confidence and presence. If you want to improve faster, study persuasion and psychology. Understand how people think. Understand what motivates them. Communication is not manipulation, it's alignment. When you can articulate your ideas effectively, you open doors that skill alone cannot open. Speaking of skill, personal development without skill development is incomplete. Mindset is powerful, but competence creates confidence. Invest in learning high-value skills that increase your independence and opportunities. Ask yourself, what skills are valuable in today's world? Sales, writing, leadership, problem-solving, technical abilities, content creation, negotiation. The more value you can provide, the more valuable you become. But don't just consume information. Practice deliberately. If you want to improve writing, write daily. If you want to improve speaking, record yourself. If you want to learn sales, practice conversations. Skill is built through repetition with feedback. Dedicate time every single day to skill development. Even 30 focused minutes compound over months and years. Most people underestimate how much progress consistent practice creates. They overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. Now let's talk about discomfort. Growth and comfort do not coexist. If you always choose what feels safe, your life will stay small. Discomfort is not a sign you're on the wrong path. Often, it's proof that you're expanding. Make it a rule to do one uncomfortable thing every day. Start a difficult conversation, share your ideas publicly, take on a challenging project, push one extra repetition in the gym. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, your identity shifts slightly. Reframe failure. Failure is not a verdict on your worth, it's feedback on your approach. If something doesn't work, analyze it. What can you adjust? What can you improve? Detach your ego from the outcome. Growth requires humility. You will make mistakes. You will face rejection. You will experience setbacks. That's part of the process. The difference between those who succeed and those who stagnate is resilience. They continue despite discomfort, but continuing blindly is not smart. That's why reflection is essential. Without reflection, experience does not equal growth. Set aside time weekly to review your progress. Ask yourself, what worked this week? What didn't? Where did I stay disciplined? Where did I fall short? Be honest but not harsh. You are evaluating performance, not attacking your identity. Adjust your strategy instead of quitting your goal. If a method isn't working, refine it. Maybe your schedule needs improvement. Maybe your environment is still distracting. Maybe your goal is unclear. Adaptation is strength. Track your progress monthly. Look at your habits. Look at your skill development. Look at your emotional responses. Are you improving, even slightly? Small improvements, sustained over time, create dramatic transformation. Now let's address common mistakes that sabotage personal development. The first is waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. If you depend on feeling inspired, your progress will be inconsistent. Build systems that function even when you don't feel like it. The second mistake is trying to change everything at once. You watch one video and decide to wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, read 2 books a week, work out daily, and build a business simultaneously. This leads to burnout. Focus on 1 or 2 habits at a time. Master them, then expand. Another mistake is constant comparison. Social media makes it easy to measure your beginning against someone else's highlight reel. This destroys focus. Stay in your lane, compete with your previous self, and finally, consuming more than you execute. Watching self-improvement content feels productive, but without action, nothing changes. Information is only powerful when applied. For every hour you spend learning, spend time implementing. Personal development is not a 30-day challenge, it's a lifelong commitment. There is no finish line where you suddenly become perfect. There is only continuous refinement. The person you become through discipline, emotional control, skill acquisition, and resilience is your greatest asset. Money can be lost, opportunities can disappear, but the character and competence you build stay with you. So here's the real question. Are you willing to endure short-term discomfort for long-term growth? Are you willing to reflect honestly, adjust strategically, and continue consistently? Because small daily improvements might seem insignificant in the moment, but over years, they compound into a completely different life. And the most powerful realization is this: you are not fixed. You are not limited to your current habits, current skills, or current identity. With deliberate effort, reflection, and courage, you can evolve. The process is simple. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And the future version of you is built by what you choose to do today. If this helped you, consider subscribing.